The social part is also important because whilst it's wonderful to have a PhD academic working full-time, looking after a family and children, who can speak to you intelligently, articulately, well-educated, etc., James is not the norm, not the usual card-carrying heroin user. And most people who develop serious problems with heroin or serious problems with other illicit drugs are socially and economically disadvantaged. And that's very important to realise. And in a country like Australia, which is quite unequal, most of the rich countries have become much more unequal. The United States especially. Australia has also, since about the 1970s, if you have a lot of poverty, you'll have very severe illicit drug problems. So somehow we have to manage this in a better way. I've just been in Germany last month, and we were in Frankfurt, and heard the story there of how Frankfurt cleaned up its drug problem. Frankfurt had in the central business district of the city that is the most important business city in the country with the biggest economy in Europe, Frankfurt used to have 1,500 people taking part in an open drug scene. An open drug scene is where people buy, sell and use drugs out in the open. And they used to use those drugs right smack bang, no pun intended, in the middle of the business area. Berlin Wall collapses, November '89, and the European Union says to Germany, we want to shift the European Central Bank to Frankfurt, but we're not going to do it while you've got this open drug scene. The banks and the businesses say to Frankfurt City Council, listen, why don't we all get together and sort all this out? So guess what? They do sort it out. And they sort it out in a way which is very compassionate, very effective, very sensible, and very cost effective. So I went out to a centre 7 kilometres from the central business district. They run a shuttle bus, believe it or not, between the drug using area and this place 7 kilometres away. And there people can get, drug users can get help. They can use drugs under supervision so that they're not going to collapse in their mother's bedroom. And they can, if they collapse in this centre, nurses and so on will resuscitate them and revive them. They can get cheap, nutritious food, they can watch television, they can play billiards, they can read books, and they can also get training. They learn how to fix old wardrobes and chests and drawers and tables and chairs. They learn how to fix garden benches around Frankfurt. And this is a growing movement we're seeing in Europe to try and reintegrate socially and economically disadvantaged drug users, not the PhD academic types, they'll generally look after themselves, but the guys, men and women, who are really struggling, often with severe physical illness, severe mental illness. And this is where the drug consumption groups like King's Cross NSIC come in, because they attract people who are from that group. So how do we deal with these people? We have to change the way we learn from Europe. We have to have a much more health social focus rather than doing the minimum that we can get away with in this law enforcement environment we operate in.